Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is a thoughts post. For those of y'all who are new here and are not aware as to what a thoughts post is, it's just simply me turning on my camera and discussing TV shows, movies, current events, random stuff going on in the world, whether it has something to do with controversial music, people, like just literally anything, especially at times if it's trending. But anyway, today, the things that I'm going to be talking about are TV shows that I do or I don't, actually do recap reviews on. So let me go ahead and get started. So, um, before I really get started, I want to let y'all know, just in case you ain't catch it, you might catch it later on, but my voice is doing what it likes to do when it's relaxing because my body thought that I was going to have to go into work. But somebody called and they ended up taking my spot. So I don't have to go into work tomorrow. And I am all right with that. So glad because I'm at the bottom of the rotation list. I'm tired. Leave me alone. All of that. Like, I'm tired. Like, they really be trying me. Y'all, again, for those of y'all who don't know, I have gray hair. I've been graying since I was 11 years old. So all the speckles and things you see is gray hair. It's not trash. And it is not dandruff or product flakes or none of that because I don't have any product flakes. So far, everything that I've been buying from Black owned businesses that I support and I do not get paid endorsements from, they work. So just saying, I don't have any issues with all of that. It is what it is. I literally just use my Black owned pick. uh, and picked my two strand twist out after I, unraveled them and all that good stuff. And now I got the fro. I don't know how long it's gonna be there, but it's gonna be there today. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this foolishness. Y'all gonna hear some raspiness from time to time because my body thought that I was relaxing and gonna go to sleep, but I'm up and trying to prepare for Hurricane Ida. We are supposed to start getting some heavy rain and flooding and all that stuff um, starting soon, like within the next hour, hour and a half. But I don't think it's going to be that bad, but we shall see. So, the first television show that I want to discuss is one that I don't do recap reviews on, and I don't think I want to, but I think it's an interesting show. I have been anxiously waiting for it to debut, and I have been watching it since it came out, and it is Johnson. And it is a television show that is on Bounce TV. I watch it for free on their website when it's available. I've seen it. I've seen all the episodes that have aired so far. Um, so yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I have. I don't know about anybody else, but I have. And I know for a fact that out of the four men that are basically the main characters, I know two of them for certain that have been in a whole lot of other productions before this show. And one of the other men I have a question mark because I feel like I've seen at least one of the other ones in some other stuff before, but I'm not sure because two of them kind of look like somebody else. The other two kind of look like other people that I've seen before, but I'm not sure if one of them in particular is who I'm thinking of. But what I'm going to do is I am going to go person by person and tell y'all what they've been in before and what their role is on this television show and just kind of some insight on some of the stuff that's been going on, the dynamics between the four of the men, all that stuff. So let's go on ahead and get into that. So the person who is playing Greg, he actually is the creator of this television show. Um, he has been on Broadway when he was like a teenager and all of this. Like, he really is about that life. Even though on the actual Bounce website, they don't really have a whole lot. I think they just have a small block for each castmate, and they just put what they feel is the most important in it, and that's it. So we find out about his, his stint on Broadway, and he was a part of the theater, and he actually has a degree in film and television. We've seen him in Greenleaf. I never saw the television show Bosch or Age of the Living Dead, but he was in that, and he was in some episodes of Greenleaf. But I'm almost positive I've seen him in other stuff before. So yeah, moving right along to the next person. The person who is playing Omar, who again is someone who I know. His name in real life is Thomas Q. Jones. Now the other person, I didn't say his name, but I'll spell it for y'all because I don't want to butcher his name. Deji, and then his last name is spelled Laray. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not about to try to butcher that man's name like that. So yeah, on to Omar. Thomas Jones, all right, y'all. I've seen him before in so many different things. I think he is the finest one out of all these men. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's not just the muscles. Like, he legit is, like, fine. He just so fine and chocolatey. In the name. So anyway, he is an executive producer on this show. He was in Straight Outta Compton, P-Valley, Down in the Valley where them girls get naked. I can't wait for that to come back on next season. They know they're wrong. They kept getting us hyped up like it was about to come back maybe this fall. And P-Valley will be back next season. Child, I love that. I love that show. He was in Luke Cage, Shameless, Being Mary Jane, Runaway, Island. Yeah, he was on a whole lot of stuff, y'all. I can't. Let's see. Anything else that, yeah. Oh, okay. I got excited for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, but anyway, yeah, he everything. I done seen him in a lot of stuff. So the person who is the question mark is this man right here. His character's name is Keith, but his name in real life is Philip I guess Smythley. I done probably butchered his last name. I apologize. Smithey. All right. He is another one who started acting and in plays and all that stuff at a young age. He started when he was 7 years old. He has been doing all this stuff all throughout school. He has made appearances on Criminal Minds, NCIS, The Young and the Restless. I knew I've seen him before. Switched at Birth. He's been in a whole lot of stuff. The Rookie. Y'all, I knew I've seen him somewhere before. Okay, and the last person, I don't know if I've seen him in something before, but I kind of feel like I did. But the other dude was definitely a question mark. All right, this dude's name is Jarvis on the show, but his real name is Derek Brady, I guess. Derrex. All right, let's see what they say he had going on in his life. So he is another one who has done print work. He has done commercials. He has been on television series. Any Day Now, In Plain Sight, The District, Strong Medicine. Okay, then. NCIS, all right. Trying to see if there are any more that I know off rip. But yes, Lord, he has been a lot of stuff. And like he is, he's trying to launch. He's been teamed up with some people to do his own producing partner. With his own producing partner to launch their own production company. Okay, Skyscope Pictures. He also is an advocate for youth, Young Warriors, an organization that provides support and guidance for the fatherless boys. Come on now. I know that's right. So yeah, that's just the main characters. I want to give an honorable mention to somebody who I have mentioned before. I think I did in a thoughts post before, but it was about the television show Grey's Anatomy. So the guy who plays Omar, who is to me the finest one of all the men on there, um, the woman who I'm talking about, she is playing Omar's wife, and in real life, her name is, if I'm not mistaken, Kalila Joy. And I first saw her when she was on a streaming YouTube show that eventually just started streaming on their own streaming network or well, whatever. You know, they had their own streaming service that we ended up eventually having to pay for. And her name was Wendy, and the TV show slash streaming show, or however you want to say that it is, whatever it is the name of that show was Hello Cupid. Then she ended up being in the spinoff, which was Chef Julian. And it's like some years went by. If she had been in some other things, I didn't see those projects. But then I randomly saw her in a McDonald's commercial. And I was like, that's Wendy. Wait a minute. Okay. I said, look at you. I see you getting a McDonald's check. Okay. So then I started seeing her like do little roles here and there. So I was like, okay, you better go off. Set it off. I'm here for it. Y'all, to date, one of the biggest things that I've seen her do is make an appearance in at least one episode of Grey's Anatomy. And that episode was one of the most impactful episodes that they've ever produced, because it kind of like put a spotlight on sexual abuse awareness and stuff like that. It was a lot that went on in that episode. That episode made me so emotional. Oh my gosh, I can't. If you look her up, that's probably going to be the first thing that's going to pop up, because that episode did the absolute most. So anyway, y'all, let me start giving y'all the rundown. So with this television show, like I told y'all before, Omar and that particular actress, they are separated. And they have a child. They have a young son. And she seems to be the one who is kind of like making a whole lot more money. He's in between jobs, or his job isn't bringing in that much money right now. I don't know if it's because of COVID. If they said it before, I ain't gonna lie, and forgot. But yeah, you can tell that the two of them still love one another, and he wants to try to make it work. And some stuff just popped off on this last episode, because there are like currently 5 episodes out, and I'm just like, why? That's all I'm gonna say as far as that is concerned. But anyway, I live for her. Y'all, this woman is a gorgeous chocolate woman. I love to see beautiful black women doing it. Like, I love to see it. So the other person, Greg, it's like it's like somewhat of an entanglement. But the girl is like really, really super into him. But in my mind, it's like, are you really into her? Like, I feel like he's there, but he's not there. He's like an Uber driver of sorts, and Lyft driver, Uber driver. He doing something like that. And she gave him a key to her house. Like, she definitely sprung off the sex. And like, he just pops up when he wants to now. And she was shocked that he came out of nowhere using the key one day. And he was like, oh, well, I mean, I thought you told me that I could stay over here and just come and go as I please or whatever. So she was like excited about it. But at the same time, she was kind of taken aback, because I guess he kind of tried to make it seem like, you can give me the key if you want to, but I ain't going to use it. He's renting his place out, so he says. Because I kind of feel like either he actually is renting it out to get extra money, or he is just out here being a homosexual at this point. But yeah, he'll like bring her food randomly. Like, they went to a strip club, and you know, strip clubs are supposed to be synonymous with having amazing food. And this was the first time I ever heard, or I guess you could say saw, somebody actually go to a buffet in a strip club and there was breakfast food lined up. So he ended up coming in late because he went to the strip club and had been there with Omar, the character Omar, all night. And so when he came in, you know what I'm saying, there really wasn't nothing for her to say. So she was kind of like, oh my gosh, he thought of me. He actually brought food. And she has a friend that's like, girl, like, she's kind of trying to be the voice of reason. And it's kind of like she's seeing through the foolishness, but she's kind of being blind to it all because she's with him. I just can't. I feel like it's a situationship slash entanglement slash some foolishness. I don't know. And like, she's a vegan, I guess, or is she a vegan? She tries to eat clean. I think she's a vegan. So like, a lot of the stuff that he brought by, I don't know. Anyway, so with Keith's character, he's a hopeless romantic. He lives for people who don't live for him. And it just really makes me feel like some, what's that man's name? It's like, I want to say everybody's name who start with an M but him. What is that man's name? I don't know why I can't think of that man's name. I don't know why I can't think of that man's name. I can't. Wait a minute. It's sad that I have to look up a song. Maxwell. I was about to look. Every time I'm about to do something, I'm like, wait a minute, let me look it up. Maxwell. When I think of Keith, I just instantly hear the song, what's that song? That it must be love don't love me. Because it's like, just with the one situation that we've seen and hearing the backstory about how things go with him as far as relationships are concerned, it's like he gets his hopes and dreams and everything in his life caught up in these random heifers that ain't here for him. Like, he be getting his entire life and they be looking at him like, boy, I don't want you. He is an aspiring photographer, artist, or whatever you want to call it. Like, apparently he's really amazing at his job. He be out here like setting it off, and lately he has been taking pictures for this raggedy heifer who, like, one minute she hot, the next minute she cold. And I ain't here for her. I don't care what she's done to kind of try to redeem herself. Like, I feel like it's some sneak stuff, like, going along with it, because she's pretty much leading this man on. I say she leading him on because she's one of those people where she could tell that somebody living for her. So it's like, girl, make it plain and clear off rip, because he really lived for you. Like, she knew she was wrong because, spoiler alert, at one point in time, first of all, he took her out on a date. And before the date even happened, she was supposed to pay him for his services, because she'll sit up there and post all kinds of pictures that he took of her. That stuff is not cheap. I went to BTW Magnet High School for 1 year, okay? And I was in the photography magnet. I lived for what I was doing. It was amazing. That stuff is very expensive. Y'all don't understand how, man, when I tell you, my parents was looking at me like, man, this is a lot. We ain't got no money. Wait a minute now. It was so many fees. That stuff was so expensive. The paper itself that the pictures had to be developed on. The developer that was in the classroom, all that stuff is expensive, honey. If you ain't got the money for that, then the cameras was expensive. Like, yeah, they were letting us rent stuff, so to speak, but they wanted us to get our own camera. And it's like, bruh, I ain't got it. Like, I had to be so careful with them cameras. It's too much. Don't nobody have time. This man has all his own equipment. He be setting it off for this heifer. The people be setting it off in the comment sections. And she never, The least this heifer could do would be to tag him. She always forgets conveniently to tag him or to pay him. Like, ma'am, you ain't paying him and you ain't gonna tag him? You know you're wrong. Then this heifer had the audacity to sit up there and be like, I need a place to stay. What you mean you need a place to stay? And she like bringing like a small collection of shoes or something over to his house. I'm like, ma'am, you know you wrong. Like, then one day she invited him out to salsa dance, and I was looking at this heifer like, oh, you done lost your mind. Cause she had like a group of friends. Like, you could tell that this is a spot she frequents a whole lot. It was a whole group of friends. They taking shots. I was like, if he sit up here and pay the tab for all these people taking shots like crazy, and he can barely take a half of a shot of something that's so light and fruity like a lemon drop. Like, bruh, don't nobody have time. And they was throwing back shots of tequila and all of that like it wasn't nothing. He over here trying to slowly sip on it like he about to die. Like, no, ain't nobody got time. He's being used. He is somewhat of a pushover. I'm hoping that he gets some sense soon because some stuff popped up. Like I said, I ain't gonna talk about that, but it was just a lot. It was too much for me. The last person that I'm going to discuss is Jarvis. Jarvis is someone in the group who is married. He's the only one who is basically happily married, but in his dynamic, they are an interracial couple. And there have been moments already, just 5 episodes in, where we see them kind of have moments where, at least him, where he's kind of struggling because it seems like he has to put on these tap dancing shoes for the good old boys in order to be able to do what he need to do because, spoiler alert, he is a business owner. He is someone who owns his own like real estate company or whatever. But because of current events like literally COVID, y'all know that it is supposed to be a buyer's market. So it's just gotten to the point where he ain't really sold a house in quite a few months. Maybe like 6 months. And like, even though they make amazing commission and all the other stuff, like, he ain't got no money coming in. The wife doing whatever she do, but he ain't got no money coming in. So yeah, she is soliciting help from other people who are like, oh, we heard what your husband do. Yeah, sure, we'll help. And he's trying to come off like he is appreciative, but at the same time, it's like, man, like, it didn't got this bad that you done sat up here and told these other white people my business. Like, I don't want these white people to know my business. Like, that's pretty much how it came off to me. I was like, oh my gosh. But, you know, like, listen, this is Atlanta, Georgia, honey. Like, this was a lot. And the fact that he has his own business and that type of business, I understand why he feels some type of way, but he actually is in a unique position, or he should be, unless they're trying to play him. Because I don't know, every time I look around, it seems like these people really trying to play him. But anyway, they basically want consulting services from him. They're not trying to like full on hire him. They just, it's somewhat of a contractual type of situation. And they are, every now and again, when they need some advice and some kind of consulting dealing with properties that they are interested in acquiring and doing whatever else with, they want to be able to come to him exclusively. And, you know, they read up on him. They can tell that he everything, even though he ain't been selling nothing lately. But he feel like, all right, this is I'm a token black man type situation, and I ain't really here for it. So they've been trying to sell him on it. They just sat up here and told him, we'll give you like a $50,000 advance or something like that, like, or whatever it is. Like, we'll go ahead and pay you some money off rip. Like, if that'll kind of help you out to go ahead and make your mind up, we'll go ahead and cut you a check, $50,000 right now. Let's do that. To kind of help you understand how serious we are. Like, we understand your talents and we want you. So, I don't know. He be having moments, I mean, because they are the type of friends, they hang out a whole lot. And his wife don't really have that big of an issue with it. It's just the fact that she's like, okay, you hanging out with them again. Why can't we hang out with people who are more along the lines of us, meaning they are couples as well, and they have the same interests that we have as couples, and it's just a lot. And he ain't really here for that interaction. Like, they were trying to play charades or something, and then like they didn't know none of the black trivia questions and stuff. It was just very kind of like cringe a little bit. But yeah, I've been enjoying the show so far. I don't know if y'all would like it or not. Let me know down in the comment section if y'all have been watching this show. Like I said before, if you haven't, it's on Bounce TV, and I watch it online. It's just something that I was like, okay, I heard this is gonna be a new show. Let me see what it's hitting for, and I watched it, and it came out at the beginning of August, and I'm here for it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Be safe out there. I'll see y'all later.